Trey gonna be that old guy in sandals and khakis with a belt.
I've been saying this for how long now?
I can't step outside naked.
We jumped into the river.
What did you do? Did you run
I
along
jumped
the river
in.
bank?
I let autocorrect make me look stupid on Facebook every day. With Luxembourg. I can't do it.
It's Luxembourg.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. That's what they all say.
You trying to get me to do the hump again, something.
Ah!
Oh, look at you, girl.
I said it's too early.
Sexual tracking app on it. And it found that
Who is actually using that? Welcome home, gentlemen from the 4th Infantry Division, 4th ID.
Yeah, I think he was trying to be funny, but it kind of escalated.
I think he was trying to hit her on a discount. Oh, money.
They used to listen to FM, but they played the same old
Yeah.
Good morning, America. Taco.
Wakey, wakey, bakey, bakey.
Taco. It's Taco Tuesday. Taco. Oh, we did tacos yesterday. You know me, though. I like to be a little early to stuff. So I do Taco Monday. You know, I like to be an overachiever. You know, all you Taco Tuesday people are just showing up to par. I'm more like Tiger. I like to get under par and under car. Too soon? Oh, Trey, bad form. So, come on. I thought that would get a laugh out of Scotty. Is he frozen?
No.
You didn't like my
He just thinks you're dumb like me.
You didn't like my under par and under car joke? Is it too soon?
I just haven't smoked my morning blunt yet.
He's like,
Give me a second.
I can't do you yet, man. Give me a minute. Thanks, bro.
I feel
Ouch.
ya. I feel ya, Scotty.
All right, well, fuck everybody. Let's do the news. So, now listen, this is happening everywhere. I'm bringing this up because it happened here, and it brings prudence to the problem of everywhere. What I'm talking about is it's time for Trey and the Turned Up 3 headlines. My first headline is a Colorado Springs foster parent is accused of sexually abusing multiple children, including at least one of his foster children, according to the police in that local area. Records show that Joel Longshore, a 46-year-old male, was arrested on December 23rd, and he's charged with 4 counts of sexual assault on a child by a person in a position of trust. That is why I'm bringing this up, because, you know, I'm starting to wonder if QAnon isn't just a bunch of predators or pedophiles and predator people who are trying to keep control of the predator narrative. You know what I mean? Hear me out on this. Now, I know QAnon members may not be, but listen, the people that are running it may just actually be a bunch of sex trafficking predators. And here's why I think that. Because they want you to believe that only Democrats are predators, first off. Last time I checked, predators don't choose political parties, okay? I mean, they do in a sense of their duty to their constitution or whatever, wherever they live in the world, but it's not part of their predatorial picking. There. Is that better? My point is this. We sit here and, well, not we, because I'm not involved with you fucking idiots. You guys sit here and are waiting for the next big political figure to come up on some type of charge. Cuomo, that's actually a real one. I said we're going to do an expose on the Cuomo case because it's gotten to that big of a thing that we can't just hit it during the 3 headlines. It's going to be a full story, I think, on Thursday, I believe. Is it Wednesday or Thursday? But anyway, no, we're doing it Thursday because we're not going to ruin our nasty, dirty fun day with Cuomo's dirty predatorial ways. No. But my point is this. While I sit here and watch morons like QAnon, who I believe may actually be just the core head top of them may just actually be a bunch of predators themselves trying to deflect people away from them. Because like I said, they want you to believe that only Democrats are predators. But dude, I'm telling you right now, the first big major predator ring to be busted in the United States was the fucking conservative Catholic Church, motherfuckers. Yeah.
All right.
My point is this. Instead of looking for the guy trying to snatch your kid off the street at the park or a Democrat, why don't you start looking at your church, your school, the foster care system where 1 in 5 homes has a predator in them? I could keep going for days on this, guys. That's what I wanted to bring up was, you want to catch a predator? Stop trying to catch the next politician who wrongfully and made sexual advances at their staff, because that's going to find itself out. I promise. Start looking at the motherfucking Bible school teacher, because that's the motherfucker that's probably more likely to be a predator if you really want to know the truth. Start looking at the foster care providers, because those motherfuckers, we keep finding them in foster care all the time. So that's obviously a thing. Hello. Go look in Clergy.
I mean, if you're not woke, like even like the Boy Scouts club,
they're paying money right now for their predatorial cover-up.
Huge money for predatorial cover-ups. So these are all supposed to be
because their motto over there was
people.
see something, say nothing.
Well, these were all people who had trusted jobs, or
positions of trust.
Positions of trust.
It means you basically you deal with children or government type stuff. You're in charge of something important. In this case, the future of America, their kids, and you decided to touch them funny, you sick son of a bitches. So my point is, if you want to catch a predator, really start catching a predator. Go do your job. Stop playing Twitter. Stop being a Twitter gangster online. Stop being an internet gangster online trying to tweet about how you think Democrats are eating babies in a basement. And why don't you go find the real fucking predators, you piece of shit? That's what I really wanted to say, to be honest with you. As a child victim, I am so fucking tired of people trying to tie this to a party or tie this to this. Back in the day, they used to just tie it to a race. Oh, if you're white, you don't molest kids. You know what I mean? Like here, in other countries, it was, if you're white, you molest kids. Who knows? The point being is it was always tied to some bullshit. The reality is they come of all walks of life, all jobs, all colors, all sizes, all shapes. Everybody's always looking for the goofy looking weirdo in the room when the Ken Barbie doll could be equally as quickly be a predator and actually is a worse threat because he is a Ken Barbie doll. All right. Yep. I'm going to go on to the next story, but I'm just telling you, if you want to really catch a predator, motherfucker, start working on it. Me and Scotty hate predators. We'd be like, shoot on sight, a bitch. So we want to catch predators, which is why we're very open-minded that they just might be everywhere.
We'd like to do more than catch a predator.
Well, there's that, but I'm not going to get into that on a live radio show. So Trump is facing a probe. Here's my second one. Speaking of predators, Trump is facing a probe in 5 independently elected investigations. So I just wanted to remind people that what those investigations are. Fair enough? So, the first investigation is the obvious investigation that you know about his taxes in New York, right? Right? But did you know that there's also another New York investigation? So, essentially, it's a lot. Like you have to read, like it's like 2 paragraphs of investigations for the New York one, or excuse me, 2 pages of investigations. Sorry, just for New York. Okay,
just for New York.
That's to explain it all. It's like 2 pages of writing, but one of them has to do with the taxes, the other one has to do with the Trump Foundation, or if I remember right, or with the way it was broke up, or something to that effect. God knows. Hold on. The New York attorney said, I'm not biased. I represent the state of New York, essentially, is what she's saying. I represent the state, all individuals, all citizens in the state of New York, whether you're a Republican or Democrat. It's not my duty, or that's my duty, and that's my mission. So she's like, I don't give a fuck if you're the president. I don't give a fuck what your party is. I want your dick in my vice. God, I love female prosecutors. They're fucking nasty in a good way. She's like, I don't give a fuck who you are. I want to fucking squeeze your balls out because you lied. Tight. The Georgia's GOP investigator is investigating the whole Brad Raffensperger thing where Trump told him to find the exact amount of votes. Remember that, guys? Remember we covered that? Well, that's under investigation, right? There's another investigation in Georgia into election meddling against Trump. And you ready for this? Just to add a cherry on the cake, the local prosecutor, while Trump may not be politically liable, according to his impeachment trial, right? He's not politically liable for what happened on January 6th, according to Republicans who voted not to impeach him, right? So essentially, 45 people in our Senate thought, it's not that big of a deal what went down, right? He's not liable for it. Well, that's cool. But the Washington, D.C. district attorney says, according to the Riot Act, motherfucker, you can be criminally liable, though. And here's the best part. Here's the best part. So get this. Trump's a moron. Trump should have let himself get impeached. He should have pushed it. He should have went in there and said, I am a fucking idiot. Fucking impeach me right now. You need to do it. Motherfucker, impeach me. You think I'm playing? Y'all think I'm crazy? Hear my logic and my narrative out, though. By him being found not guilty for the insurrection, right? In an impeachment process, right? It's saying that he basically cannot be held liable as a politician, right? That's what an impeachment is. It's a political trial. It's not a real trial. It's not a criminal trial. It's a political trial, right? That's why I tell people it's going to always be hard to get an impeachment unless you have like 60% of the Senate. You're never going to impeach the opposite party. And I don't see how you get elected, but 60% of the Senate is the other party. I just don't see that happening. You know what I mean? Even the worst Senates against presidents, they never had 60% of the Senate. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I just don't see that happening. So the problem with Trump is that if he had been impeached, he could have said that he was the president and he was held accountable as the president for doing something presidential. So you can't criminally charge me for this, right? He could have done that. He could have literally said that if he had been impeached. His impeachment paved the way for his civil investigations. I think some Republicans impeached him so that he could be criminally investigated, like Mitch McConnell. Somebody like a Mitch McConnell. You know what I mean? So anyway, those are the 5 investigations investigating Trump right now. There's 2 in New York, 2 in Georgia, and 1 in D.C. I'm following all of them because, like I said, it's very interesting that the Republicans and Trump fighting that impeachment may have legally jeopardized him in civil court. That's crazy to think about it, but that's what happened. Last one, and then we got to go to break and come back and do some real work. Fair enough? So, when we left off, it's time for a little sports news. When we left off, the Colts had traded Carson Wentz from the Eagles to the Colts. So I just wanted to give you guys some big, high-profile moves that have happened over the last couple of days. First off, the New England Patriots are poking around and looking for a quarterback after seeing what happened with Matthew Stafford the Matthew Stafford. Who was the idiot from L.A.? I'm drawing a blank here. Scotty, this is where you're supposed to bail me out.
Jared Goff.
That motherfucker. That trade. And then Carson Wentz to the Colts. They're like, oh, wait, maybe we can get in it. So there's still some chatter going on that the Patriots are still in the quarterback market and potentially trying to fill that void without doing it in the draft, as they don't feel like maybe they're in the right position without having to give up too much to get a good quarterback. You know what I mean? In other news, let me see here. The Carolina Panthers released safety Trey Boston and defensive tackle Kawan Short and a bunch of other people that you guys won't know. But Rick Wagner and Kawan Short are among early, really potentially like what we would call well-known releases. On Monday, February 22nd, it would appear at last update that the Texans are going to keep Deshaun Watson. I am here to tell you guys that this is about to be the John Elway issue of our day. So basically, the Texans are essentially the Colts, but not as now I'm talking about the Baltimore Colts, but not as bad. They're basically selling off everything and going to move overnight kind of thing. No, Houston, I'm not saying your team's moving overnight, but I'm just saying that's what the Colts did to Baltimore back in the 80s, okay? So anyway, I'm calling this the John Elway situation because John Elway essentially forced them. He was going to go play baseball for the Yankees if they didn't trade him to somewhere. So that's how he ended up in Denver, for those of you that don't know the story. So essentially, Deshaun Watson could sit on the bench, make almost as much money anyway because they were dumb and paid him a shit ton in guaranteed money. This is what you guys got to stop doing. Stop giving these fucking kids guaranteed money. If you're not on the fucking field playing, you don't get paid, kid. Seriously. Stop giving him so much fucking, dude, the amount of guaranteed money, like, oh my God, did you guys see Patrick Mahomes guaranteed money? I think like 2/3 of his $300 million are guaranteed. He could break his fucking neck tomorrow and he's still going to get $200 million and the Chiefs will be the laughing stock of the entire NFL for the next 20 years because of it. You think I'm fucking kidding? I'm dead serious. I've watched it happen. I've seen these type of things happen. Pay big, a guy gets hurt, he finishes his career, ends his career, he still keeps getting that money. So you don't have the revenue to pay anyone else to bring him in. Any talent, keep a good rookie around, anything. So Deshaun Watson not going anywhere for now, but I'm telling you guys, mock my fucking words, by September 9th or whatever the fuck it is, or September 6th or whatever the Thursday that starts the season, by that fucking date, Deshaun Watson will not be wearing a goddamn Texans uniform. You hear me, Scotty? You mock my words. Put it on the board.
I'm still hoping for him to come to Denver.
Actually, I like that move. I don't think he wants that move. That's the problem.
I don't think so either.
The Steelers...
It's cold, and who knows what our offense is doing? Who knows?
So in a statement released by the Steelers, they've announced that they've met with Ben Roethlisberger and they want him back for 2021. My assumption would be is that there are some, my knowledge is there's a restructure of his contract, as he was the worst cap hit in the league going into this next season, like $41 million cap hit against the Steelers. So by restructuring his contract, that'll free up some room and some money for them. And I think that that's just why they were willing to stay. They did so well last year. They're not going to get a quarterback in the draft this year. That's just what it is.
And he's more than willing to give up some of his salary to keep his job.
Yeah, because the other option was they'd cut him. I'm pretty sure he's got most of his guaranteed money already. There's not much of his contract guaranteed on the back end. They do that on purpose. Give you a bunch of money up front, and then they pay you on a sliding scale going forward, so you lose more money if you get hurt later in your contract. That's basically the way it works. But anyway, in other news, Russell Wilson released a 4-team list of teams that he would like to play for.
Yeah.
So your starting quarterback
to avoid
Seattle,
the trade clause or whatever, right?
Right. He has a no trade clause, so he would waive his no trade clause for 4 teams, according to the powers that be. Now, here's the deal, though. The problem is, here's the problem. There's only one team that matches up, or 2 teams that match up here. So check this out. The interest of Wilson, he would waive his trade clause for the Dallas Cowboys, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Chicago Bears, and the New Orleans Saints. The problem is the Seahawks management doesn't see a destination for him except New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, New Orleans Saints, and the Las Vegas Raiders. So they both seem to be on the same page with Vegas and the Saints. What you don't want is him to go to the Vegas Raiders. Denver fans, I promise you. You 2 Denver fans in here do not want him to go to Las Vegas Raiders. That is a problem for time to come for you then. At that point, the Raiders automatically become a playoff not just a playoff contender, but potentially could make a run in the playoffs.
Raiders ain't going to get him. The Raiders are too good of a team to have that good of a quarterback. Or too bad of a team. Excuse me. I said that wrong. Too bad of a team.
I was like, who says that? Your first one, I was like, who says a team's too good to have that good of a quarterback? As a quarterback, I object to that statement. Okay, good. I was like, wait a minute. I've never had a team say, we're just too good for you. Like, I've just never been on that roster to begin with, I guess, because, you know what I mean? Like, I've never had a team say, we're just too good for you.
That would just look so weird, though, wouldn't it? Russell Wilson as a Raider?
What about a Saint? The New Orleans Saints mayor has put out a video hoping to draw Russell Wilson in. Of course, the Saints, or the Seahawks Seattle mayor said, Russell's not going anywhere. Leave our quarterback alone. And if you don't forget, we're in the market for an NBA team. Like, basically saying, we'll just come scoop up the Pelicans.
That's my boy. I love
They basically
Russell
said,
Wilson.
we'll just come scoop up the Pelicans because it's not like it was really your team anyway. And my last big trade.
Dang.
My last big trade is the Texans, or not trade, but last big deal is the Texans have cleared up cap space on their team by releasing one J.J. Watt, who has now signed with the Arizona Cardinals, putting the
bad news.
This is bad news for everyone in the league, and good news for me because I'm a Cardinals fan. But bad news for everyone in the league, and let me explain why. Because since Chandler Jones was drafted, he is the leader in sacks in the NFL with 97, right? They have just now paired him with the second leading sacker in the league with 94.5 in that same time frame. And then behind those two,
behind his Von Miller.
I was just going to bring that up. I sent you the list. Von Miller bringing up the rear on that. So let's do this, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's take a quick break. That's the headlines. We're going to get back here after the break, and we're going to dive into the COVID. Wait, no. Vaccine frauders. Cammy's got vaccine frauders. Scotty's got the vaccine report. And I've got Judas and the Black Messiah review from HBO Max. We'll be back.
Hey, what's going on? It's the hungry, hustling American Dream Afro Man. Wake and bake, America. Yeah, you're chilling with Mr. Ashtray.
That's Mr. Trey, not Ashtray.
You're listening to Mr. Trey, and you know why. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you a business owner and want to highlight your business? Call 727-318-2956. Let's highlight your business and captivate Southern Colorado's largest group of spenders. They're active consumers looking for your services. To advertise with Wake and Bake America on Blazin' 98.5, that's right, your morning show, call 727-318-2956. Or email us at bakeamerica@gmail.com. Advertise with your morning show because it's simple, smart business, and it works. 727-318-2956. And let's start your ad campaign today. Hey, Southern Colorado, when it comes to getting your shirts made and printed and also designs on other products you want,
Sick Tees.
Southern Colorado has the premier shirt maker and designer. That's right, it's sicktees.com. Tell them.
Sick Tees.
And where can you find?
Sicktees.com.
At sicktees.com. That's SIKTEEZ.com.
Sicktees.com.
Your mom
Sick Tees
has proudly sponsored Wake and Bake America for 4 seasons.
Look, the recipe for success is pretty practical. You lead a little wake, you sprinkle in a little bake. You grab some coffee, and we get you out the door the right way for show. It's Wake and Bake America, weekday mornings.
Good morning, America.
Wakey, wakey, bakey, bakey.
Dude, y'all hear that? Is that? You're all I need to give up. I think that's it. I think that's the bass line from that, or the drum line from that. Sorry, Scotty, you can't hear what we was grooving on. That's not your fault. Safer at home until we get vaccinated. So, speaking of vaccines, by the way, Scotty, you weren't here for the coronavirus report yesterday, but obviously you know that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine received federal emergency authorization over the weekend. Vaccines have been rolling and are expected to start hitting arms today, actually. That's the good news. The better news for our show is I think that I can get all of us in the category of news. Everybody still has their press passes, right? Scotty, you got your press pass?
I never got one.
Oh, crap. Ashley never gave you yours. Crap.
Nope.
Okay, well, you need to get surgery anyway, so that should move you up the list. There we go. I don't know. I actually don't know if that's true. Either way, though, we are talking about our age group.
It isn't.
All jokes aside, we are talking about our age group being vaccinated in April, maybe May at the latest right now, as long as nothing goes sideways going forward. There's always, guys, there's always the variants, the things like that we know less about. And that always makes me wonder how fucking fucked up this could get. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick plug on that I really expect that by this sometime this spring or late spring or early summer, we should be back in the studio when it's daylight outside in the morning, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're on a delay. Okay, so let's do this though. First off, I wanted to tell you guys about award-winning cannabis from food creations from Sam's Creations. That's Sam's with a Z, Creations with a Z. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram, or you can give her a call, 719-496-0412. So let's get to this. That happened in coronavirus report. Vaccine frauders lying to get a vaccine or to get a vaccine ahead of the time you're supposed to get it. Couldn't that be almost criminal? This story brought to you by Apothecary Farms, the leader in concentrates. Get your Apothecary Farms, Pueblo, Colorado Springs, Denver, and Oklahoma, and also hundreds of locations across dispensaries in both states, expanding all over the United States as we speak. So just be ready to Apothecary, America's leader in concentrates.
Yeah, so...
Oh, God, here we go. What happened? So how did they fraud?
So these two women decided to dress up as grannies to get a COVID-19 vaccine, Florida officials say.
Like, you don't got to show an ID. You could just show up. Oh, you don't got to. But you don't got to show an ID. You don't.
They did.
Wait, what? Why would you?
They somehow got away with getting their first vaccine. They got through without being questioned, and they were in line to get their second part of the vaccine, and that's when the police officers asked for ID and such, and like I guess the paperwork you need to to show, and yeah.
So, what do you?
Apparently you can dress up as a grandma to get liquor if you're underage.
Oh yeah, we covered that story too.
They don't know, like the cops even say, we don't know how they got away with getting the first part. Like they really don't, but
the cops are like, y'all motherfuckers did not do your fucking job.
So these women, they showed up to the Orange County Convention Center wearing bonnets, gloves, and glasses, like the whole shebang, trying to look like a granny. They're in their actual 30s and 40s. Which would make them ineligible, of course, right now to receive the vaccine outside.
Bitch, I'm eligible before you. One of you at least.
Outside of a healthcare or like long-term care facility kind of setting.
This is trifling. That's all it is. Straight up trifling. Like, you taking from people who need it.
Well, they've already gotten the first round. They might as well give them the second round.
Nope.
Well, here's the thing is.
Seems like a waste then, right?
No, because it still has 50% efficacy even with just one shot. Which is still above the standard bearer of 40.
So the deputies, they issued the two women trespass warnings after their dates of birth did not match those they had used to register for the vaccines. The names, however, did match the registration.
Yeah, it turns out that the women have been identified as Olga Monroy Ramirez, 44 of Florida, and Martha Vivian Monroy, 34 of Orange County, Florida. So I'm guessing maybe mom and daughter, or no, sisters, 44, 34, sisters, cousins, sister-in-laws. There we go. Oh, that's what it is.
So he pretty much said to them after they were caught, he said, you know what you've done? You've stolen a vaccine from somebody that needs it more than you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how are you not getting charged with theft?
And he said,
or impersonation, something. Yeah. This has got to be criminal. We got to stop. We can't be throwing people in jail for doing this. Oh, but you'll throw people in jail for smoking weed, though.
And he said, and now you're not going to get your second one. So that's a whole waste of time we just wasted on you in here on this. So,
well, I would only, you know me, I got to be the guy that argues the facts.
He said, if you come back and try to do it at any facility, you will get arrested.
How you going to be on the FBI Corona watch list? Like
right?
Like that ain't tough, bro. Like if you're on the FBI terrorist watch list, you're white nationalist terrorist watch list, Al Qaeda terrorist watch. Yeah, you really might be a tough guy. But if you're on the coronavirus terrorist watch list for stealing vaccines by showing up too soon, yeah, you're just a dick.
Yeah, these girls, that's terrible, though.
That is fucked up. So, and here's the thing is, guys, just so y'all know, as long as your state's doing proper, because obviously this is going to be a state-by-state issue, but as long as your state's doing this properly, I would imagine that by summertime, everybody should at least be able to have a dose from somewhere. I'd rather do the Johnson & Johnson one, honestly. I didn't want to do the second dose one. I was just willing. Because if you think about it, the Johnson & Johnson one is one shot, can be held in a regular fridge, and has an 85% efficacy. You're bitching about 10% more efficacy in the Moderna vaccine, but you need two of them. So technically speaking, one shot from Moderna is only about 55%, has 55% efficacy, right? So technically, in my eyes, one shot, 85% efficacy, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is actually the better vaccine. However, there is really not a better vaccine. I want to be clear on that before we move forward. I just want to be clear on that. There's not a better vaccine. If you do the Moderna and you get both, you're pretty well going to dodge any hospital visits and pretty much for most parts getting sick. Some people still get sick, but they don't go to the hospital over it. That's basically anybody who does get sick hasn't went to the hospital. So it's like 100% preventing hospital and deaths. And it's other than that, it's like 85, 95% from keeping you sick. So just get whatever fucking one you can. But understand that in my mind, my thinking is one shot, bang it out, boom, 85%. I'm good with that. Two shots gets me another 95. But if I miss that second shot, I'm only at half the protection. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of see it. Did we lose Scotty? Because you're next.
No, he's right here.
Okay.
You just talk a lot.
Well, that's my job. Scotty, it's time for coronavirus by the numbers. So let's take a quick peek at the coronavirus numbers as I'm hearing the numbers are peaking up or ticking up a little bit. This brought to you by
Wake and Bake America Show is happy to partner with underground sensation Young Fats. Check out and download Young Fats on all music platforms. That's YUNGGFAWTZ.
FATTZ. Yeah, you got to say it like 1,000
Tongue
times,
twister.
and then you might get it right. So, Scotty, what do you got by the numbers here?
So, by the numbers, we're going to start with new cases first. As of March 1st, we were looking at 56,672. That's up about 6,000 from the day before, but still on that kind of downward trend. The week before, we were up in the 70s. So
it is down like 150 or 150. It's down like 200 and something thousand though from when we peaked out back around the first week of January. Though that is the good news,
right? That's a huge difference in new cases. Kind of looks like it's plateauing. According to our death tally here, as of March 1st, we were looking at 1,425 deaths on that day alone. Which is up a little bit from the day before, but down comparably, almost like a plateau from the week before. And that's where we are with the death. There's a daily amount, 1,425 per day we're looking at here in the United States.
Yeah, they were saying that this morning on the news, like, people are starting to become numb to it. And we can't, like, there's still a good amount of people dying and getting sick,
right? And it's real easy when you've been doing the right thing. Everybody around you has been doing the right thing. So the coronavirus, you and loved ones have been doing the right thing. That's good.
I still had to
keep
yell
washing your mask.
I still had to yell at a lady at Walmart that I was at to stand back. Like, people.
Oh yeah.
But
I had to tell her twice.
I know it's
twice.
Cammy didn't.
I know for some people, 6 feet is hard to understand or judge.
Or there's just those
marks
little
on
lines.
The floor
yes.
for a reason.
Some of y'all think 4 inches is 6 inches. We get it. I mean, we get it. So you probably think 4 feet is 6 feet. We get it.
But I'm just like, It's been a year and you're still not like.
Well, because the problem is it was politicized from the beginning, so people didn't give a fuck from Jump Street because it was all played into a political part. Just look at the people who are failing to stand 6 feet back, and they're either poorly educated or we know the other side.
It's just frustrating.
So, yeah.
It is, but if we keep doing what's right, we'll make it through this all together and
get woke.
I'm proud of us as a team, and I think we all get vaccinated, especially anybody that's been doing everything the way that it's supposed to be, and it's hard to do it, should celebrate. I think we're going to plan on a big barbecue, and other people should do it as well. We should celebrate making it through this and doing it the right way.
'Cause I'm going to live forever. No, I'm not. So...
I'm a Highlander anyways. You got to cut my head off.
Shh. Don't tell. I'm telling people that, man. Sometimes people be like, I'll take you up on that.
You can try it. You can try it.
I, on the other hand, am not a Highlander. And if you cut my head off, I will be disturbingly upset about it. One way or another. The look on my face will say it all. I am dead with this situation. What? No? Okay. So anyway. So just
is it weird?
Wash your hands, do the right thing.
Is it a weird coincidence that Trump supporters can't measure 6 foot? Or think that 6 foot is shorter than what it actually is? Is that a coincidence?
You mean over promise and under
deliver? And they drive big trucks?
Over promise and under deliver? I'm bringing the wood to the party. Yeah, toothpick. Shut up.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. I'm sorry.
Is that a splinter?
What? You're stupid. I thought
I'm
you
not
said you were
sorry.
sorry. You're not sorry. I'm not sorry either, though. So it's cool.
No.
I lied with you. Right,
I will not lie to him.
I will not lie to your face. Now, behind your back, on the other hand. No, I'm just playing. All right. So, Cammy, it's time for my review of Judas and the Black Messiah. Did you guys? Well, first off, who's it powered by?
Look, are you printing stuff because brand recognition matters?
Duh.
The next time you need anything printed, just visit sicktees.com. For the best in printing, remember SIKTEEZ.com.
So, Judas and the Black Messiah. First off, I know Cammy didn't watch it with me, so I'm going to say it's safe to assume you probably didn't get a chance to watch it, right? Okay. Scotty, did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I tried a couple times.
Scotty has
That's a long movie.
It's like 2 hours long. Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's pretty long.
That's exactly why I didn't watch it.
So it's kind of a docudrama, is what I would call it. 96 on Rotten Tomatoes, and you know they fucking hate everything. So there's that.
Truth.
So when you get a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, oh wow, because when you get a 45 on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, okay, so it'll be all right, flick. It'll be cool. And then every once in a while, they'll give like Super Troopers like a 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, and then I'm like, that was the shit. So you can never trust Rotten Tomatoes. So that's why I go watch shit myself.
No.
Can't trust any of these fucking reviews.
Form your own opinion.
I think some of these review sites take money.
These critics.
Yeah, they take money.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm just saying, if you paid me to say something nice about your movie, I'd do it too. Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Ching ching. Your boy is here for you. All right. No, seriously. So, by the way, we've got a couple of things coming up for What Are You Watching? We've got The Young Rock later this week, and we got the U.S. versus Billie Holiday. I know is one of them. I can't remember the other thing that I told you guys to watch. But anyway, that U.S. versus Billie Holiday is won an award. By the way, did y'all know that? Like it's an award-winning movie.
I'm looking forward to The Young Rock.
Yeah, that looks funny. I love sitcoms. You guys know I'm a sitcom guy myself. So anyway, let's get to this. So Judas and the Black Messiah, directed by Shaka King, and of course starring Daniel Kaluuya, Lakeith Stafford, and Dominique Fishback. So, Jesse Plumos plays the FBI agent in this movie. You guys would remember him from Remember the Titans. He's one of the teammates from Remember the Titans. That's the best I can give you. It's the only movie I could think of that I remember him from, okay? But anyway, so Judas and the Black Messiah really gets into the latter part of the Black Panther movement in the 70s, going into the 70s, okay? Late 60s and early 70s, after the Civil Rights Act is signed by Johnson and so forth. So it gets into kind of, in a sense, it really opens the back door of what was really going on behind the scene. Shut up, Cammy. It opens up the door on the back side of the house. There's no way I can say that better, is there? Anyway,
Try again.
Well, because we're talking about the FBI, so we definitely should be talking about the back door. But anyway, no, it opens the back door up on the entire home known as the Black Panther situation in America. And what you see is the lengths really that Hoover and the FBI really went to the point of setting up and killing the Black Panther leader because he wasn't doing anything wrong, so they couldn't actually do much except keep they first off, they threw him in jail over bogus charges. That's actually common knowledge. And then it's common knowledge that every witness that was there when the police and the FBI raided the house that he was sleeping in, it's pretty much common knowledge for most people that know the story, at least, that the police went in there. The witnesses say that the police went in there and shot him and killed him. That he was still breathing even though he had been shot up and poisoned by one of his own inside guys, according to the story. But either way, it's always ironic that how do you say this? It's ironic is the word I'm going to go with, and I don't know, like. in America, our FBI department essentially Hoover went out and said, this was a guy who was a misogynist and a anti-homophobic, anti-black kind of prick, right? And he dressed in girls' clothes, so it's always it's the part that never added up. He's a cross-dresser who hates himself, I guess. But anyway, so
he could be different, but they just couldn't be.
With Hoover, dude, you go read the biographies of Hoover that aren't written by him. I think you'll be very surprised at what you read. True story. So anyway, so this movie is really good, by the way. It's really, really good. It is the one thing I hate about documentary type dramas where they cover a historical drama type movie. The one thing I don't like is I already know the outcome. You know what I mean? Like watching Glory when I was a kid sucked because I knew the 54th Massachusetts gets obliterated in South Carolina or North Carolina.
And a lot of times they dramatize it more than it actually was.
At Fort Sumter.
So,
you know, so, and then there's the historical fictional movies like Forrest Gump that I love because they throw in the real points of history and intertwine the character into it as if they were a major part of it, and that's kind of cool to watch.
I mean, it's Tom Hanks. He's awesome.
He is America's dad, and you guys will be nice to him or else. So, but no, it was really, 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 it was a really good okay. So here's the deal. From a historical level, it was a really good historical drama, not documentary, but a historical drama. From a black man perspective, if you would, from a minority perspective, if you would, it was upsetting to watch a man get a bunch of rednecks flying a Confederate flag at their church, a bunch of Puerto Ricans who would have stabbed him a year earlier, and a bunch of black guys all to work together against the police, and they killed him for it. So it was hard not to be upset at the end of the movie, but I knew the story already.
Yeah.
I knew that they literally incarcerated and wiped out a generation of black leaders. And that led to the crack. That really led to the ability for the crack epidemic to be so big in the 90s, and then so on and so forth, because generations of fathers weren't there to raise their sons. It's a true story. Good fathers, good leaders. Like these guys. Listen, these guys did bad stuff, but so did the cops and the government. Let's be honest here. So the reality is these are people who, like this dude. Listen, they wanted to remove him because he wanted to open up a free health clinic. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, the same stuff we're working on today, like for like national health care and stuff, is the same stuff he was talking about in the movie, which is the same stuff in his real speeches he was talking about. So the movie was frustrating. Right. It portrays, again, this guy, if you don't know who Hampton was, a Black Panther leader. He's a chapter leader or chairman or chapter leader in Chicago. And the Chicago police are guilty of murdering him. That's all part of the true story. The FBI actually inserted a guy who he's facing like 5 years in prison for impersonating a federal officer. He was basically pretending to be a cop to steal cars. This is actually a true story, by the way. This guy named O'Neill, the FBI gave him money to the tune of roughly about $200,000 in today's money. They gave him cars, whatever he needed, clothes, and inserted him into the Black Panthers and used him to set up Hampton and eventually get Hampton killed. So you guys ready for the stinger? You might learn this from the movie. I don't know. I didn't watch the credits, but because I was trying to hurry off and scuttle off to bed. But you might learn this. But I'll tell you a secret. So there was a documentary made about this story. Back in the day, we're like 90s, like I think 90, 91, 92 time frame. I saw it in 92, so it had to have been, and I know it came out in the 90s. Okay. I saw it like 92, 93. And, there's a documentary about this story where the real O'Neill is interviewed.
Yeah. I've watched a documentary about it.
The day that interview aired, O'Neill killed himself. He committed suicide. He sold out his brothers.
Yep.
That's the truth.
It's crazy.
He actually rose to pretty high rank in the Chicago Black Panther Party. The problem with the Black Panther Party is a lot like the Klan. They were willing to commit violence to get their way That has always been the sticking point for me with them, is at the point that you're willing to commit political violence to get your way is where I have to draw the line. I don't care what party, what faction, what skin color, nothing about that. I draw the line at committing violence in the name of politics against anyone.
Right.
I don't care who you are. That's wrong. That's just wrong. That's wrong to kill people in the name of a political faction or reason. That's wrong. In my eyes, that's where the line has to be drawn. And a lot of the actual leaders in the Black Panther Party were actually pretty much that way. But there were a few that crossed the line. The irony is one of the Black Panthers that actually tortured a guy was an FBI paid informant. A lot of people believe that he did it because he felt like he had immunity against anything he did, so he could do it. They were looking for an inside mole or rat, so the rat tortured another guy and got him to confess to being the rat. I'm telling you right now, just watch the movie. It's really, really good. And the way the screenplay is written for the dramas to be woven for you was well wrote. And I'll give hats off to the screenplay writers, which I believe was the director anyway. Yeah, the director was involved in the screenplay writing of it. There you go. So there you go. But anyway, but I would give you this. I'd give it 5 stars. I'd watch it. And it's not, I think that from a historical standpoint, whether you're black, white, brown, orange, or purple, you should know the extent of white rage and white violence that was used against black folks simply for politically disagreeing. You should know. And the reason why I tell people is those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. The problem with every Caucasian person that turns their back on what really happened in our history as a country is they don't understand that what if you end up being on the other side? They always assume they're going to be on the side of the fence that doesn't take the shit sandwich, right? And I always laugh because I'm like, you can't guarantee that you're not going to be on the side that has to eat the shit sandwich, the genocide, the all that shit. You're not the side that has to have that happen to you. That's what you believe, so you're okay with it. You turn a blind eye to these crimes and this stuff. No. State-sponsored terrorism by the government against its people should be called out because at some point you might be on the side that's terrorized by the government. I think poor white folk found that out the fastest, if you want to know the truth. Ask my cousins. They'll tell you. They'll tell you they didn't feel like they were white kids growing up. They were treated no different than black kids growing up because they lived in the ghetto with the black kid. You know what I mean? So I think poor people found out faster than anyone that basically when the police are given a pass to beat the fuck out of you or kill you and largely are not held accountable for it, at some point we have to admit that our government is paying, and you and I as taxpayers are paying for terrorism, state-sponsored and inflicted terrorism by locality and police. So that's kind of the message from that I took. It was really a fascinating movie. I think everybody should take a crack at it and look at it. Let's go to break.
Hey, what's happening? It's your boy Bubba Sparks. If you didn't know prior to this moment, you better know for sure. Anytime I'm rolling through Colorado Springs, I'm checking out Wake and Bake America. How could you not be listening to Wake and Bake? Holding it down with Cammy, Renee, and Mr. Trey. All the way, twice on Sunday. Y'all probably ain't on Sunday, but it's all good. Y'all should be.
Copywritten, so don't copy me.
Yo, you gotta check Young Fats, the hottest artist for the mighty CO, self-made Colorado favorite artist, Young Fats, 2 G's and 2 T's, introduces us to a brand new single. You better check Stay Dangerous.
So serious, stay dangerous, stay dangerous, stay dangerous, keep it dangerous.
Available for your purchase right now, iTunes and Amazon Music. Subscribe and follow for the latest tracks from Young Fats.
Y'all play to win.
You'll be catching the vibes and stream free right now on all major platforms. Young Fats, vibing the mountains all the way.
I need more of you, ain't threatening.
And looking for your support, download on iTunes and Amazon Music today. 2 G's and 2 T's with Young Fats. Check it out.
I need more of you like commas.
Are you ready to get turned up, lit, and whatever it is, or even boot, scoot, and boogie? Then you need to come down to Copperhead Road every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and hang out with your boy and the Wake and Bake America crew. Ladies night, we got you. Friday night, come on, we got you. Saturday night, don't miss the all-ages party every weekend, a half a block south of North Carefree on Academy. That's right, come hang out with the Wake and Bake America crew. Your boy, Mr. Trey on the ones and twos. We got hip-hop, we got country. Why go anywhere else when it's all at one spot? That's right, Copperhead Road.
Copperhead Road.
Hey, it's your girl, Cammie Renee from Wake and Bake America Show. Stay tuned for the Stump the Stoner where I make these guys look stupid. I mean, it ain't that hard anyways.
What you want?
Trey gonna be that old guy in sandals and khakis with a butt.
I've been saying this for how long now?
I can't step outside
We
naked.
jumped into the river.
What did you do? Did you run
I
along
jumped
the river,
in.
man?
I let autocorrect make me look stupid on Facebook every day. With Luxembourg. I can't do it.
It's Luxembourg.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. That's what they all say.
You trying to get me to hump, do the hump again, sunset.
Ah!
Oh, look at you, girl.
I said it's too early.
Sexual tracking app on it. And it found that
Who is actually using that? Welcome home, gentlemen from the 4th Infantry Division, 4th ID.
Yeah, I think he was trying to be funny, but it kind of escalated.
I think he was trying to hit her on a discount. Oh, my nigga.
You used to listen to FM, but they pay the same old
Good morning, America.
Wakey, wakey, bakey, bakey.
By the way, I love movies from Brooklyn in the 80s because had my dad not been in the military, that's probably where I would have grew up. And it looks so cool. People just sit down and they stoop. It wasn't cool like that, though. It was actually...
No.
Yeah, Brooklyn was rough. Now, the Bronx...
It was rough.
The Bronx, from my understanding, was... No, wait. No, I think the Bronx was worse in the 90s. Brooklyn was worse in the 80s, if I remember. So I get it confused at, like, what borough was worse when, because it kind of changes. From if you have family and out east, you understand it. Like the worst of the boroughs changes by usually the worst of crime. So let's get into our important day today. Brought to you by Cammie Renee. Well, Cammie gonna do it. It ain't brought to you by Cammie. And when you want to have an important day, that's your day, do it at Copperhead Road Bar. Look, guys, we're going to get back to normal soon. By the way, Copperhead Road Bar opening up the weekend of March 12th for limited openings till midnight. We're looking to push that till 2 in the morning, but that's kind of governor says yes. We're waiting for the health department to put out the guideline that lets that happen. But we are open till midnight. Music. Mr. Trey will not be in the building physically, but a Mr. Trey mix will. So you know it's fire. Get out there, 3330 North Academy Boulevard in Colorado Springs, and get that night you need out now. Mask up. If you listen, I'll tell you a secret. If you feel uncomfortable, wait about another month, and then take a warm night out and mask up. But get out. I think we're all getting a little cabin finger.
Fever, you mean?
No, I was going to say cabin finger, keyboard gangsta. And I see it all the time. Scotty knows what I'm talking about. Scotty,
What the hell is
Scotty,
he
how many
talking
keyboard
about,
gangsters
Scotty?
a day do you have to ride on?
Do what?
How many keyboard gangsters do you have to ride on a day?
Oh yeah, there's tons of people that have nothing better to do. It's crazy.
Right.
People need to get out
I'm
more.
like, today I have time. Yesterday I didn't.
So it's fucking on. You sound like me. All right. So anyway, let's do this though. So it's an important date today. They are the next generation of adults, and we should look out for the young adults as they're coming up, especially during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But so what is today's young people's big day or recognition day about?
It's World Teen Mental Wellness Day, meaning today aims to normalize conversations and dismantle stigmas around teen mental health issues. according to the American Psychological Association, Gen Z has the worst mental health of any generation. However,
it's your goddamn video game. Just remember, though, guys, it's like 3 generations before you deciding what mental health is right, though, too. So they could be just as fucked up as us, but they got to set the bar.
But what's cool is, however, teens are dedicated to making a difference more now than back when we were, kids.
That's because the older generations in this country, the ones that were born in the 60s, 50s, and so forth, in my eyes, are kind of the chump generation. And I'll tell you why. Because while about 20% of their generation was fighting for equal rights, the other 80% of their generation was completely okay with the de facto system as in segregation, racial privilege over others, all kinds of shit. So the truth is, your generation ain't that fucking great in my eyes anyway, so I don't know why you get to set the bar.
Anyways, 64% of Gen Z say they want to achieve a healthier lifestyle for overall happiness, including a stronger self-care routine. 94% consider mental health very important to their well-being. So ultimately, raising awareness about mental health and importance of self-care, it can definitely help improve an entire generation's mental wellness. So, if everybody does their part, it's as simple as something. If you see a teenager having a hard time, just ask them. Just let them have someone to talk to. I mean, just something little like that can make a difference. Check in on them. That's another thing,
I thought for sure Scotty was going to say something. You're really quiet today, or you're frozen.
I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault.
It's like you're really quiet today, or you're frozen. I know what you're doing. You're reading your story. You're next. So.
Oh no! I already read about this guy.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. I told you that's why I didn't want to get in. People ask me, why isn't that in the news, in your news headlines? I'm like, first off, bitch, it was on Friday, and I'll get into that next. Let's finish this. So, teen mental health awareness. I will tell you that the quarantine, lockdown, out of school stuff, obviously is not. Hasn't been helping the best. Now, you can't just throw your kids in a cesspool of fucked up shit where they can die and go, it'll be all right. You can't do that, but their mental health is important.
Even as teenagers, it's still really important that your kids, if they're getting the socialization that they need, for their,
My kids have come to me at different points and been like, I'm just, they don't use the word depressed because maybe they don't realize that that's a form of depression. But they're just like, I'm bored and I don't find satisfaction in anything and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's because you've been stuck in the fucking house for a year, man. Like, I get it.
All right.
Like, I'm not judgy. I listen to my kids. Listen to your kids. They'll tell you. Like, my kids aren't like out cutting on their wrist and hiding from me about their problems. No, they bring them right to me. And sometimes I'm like, stop fucking whining. But other times, like when my daughter came to me the other day, I'm not going to say which one and blast them to that degree, but I'll tell you that one of my daughters came to me the other day and was like, I've been stuck in the house a lot, and I'm doing really good in school, but I feel depressed. Like I don't like this. I just feel like kind of depressed a little bit and stuff. And and I had to be more of a dad that day instead of a normal dad where it's like, shut up, quit whining. Like I had to actually like, all right, listen, look, I fucking feel you, man. Like, I fucking feel you, bro. I'm fucking kind of getting a little depressed on being locked in the house, too. And you can't just go run off to the lake like I can in the middle of the week if you want. So, I get it, man. Like, I feel you, dog. Sometimes you just got to listen to your kids. People, I think, right. Our parents, which didn't listen to us.
Oh, no.
But our parents who didn't listen to us were raised by people who believed kids should be seen and not heard, who were raised by people who believed that people shouldn't even know whether you have kids or not. You know what I mean? Like so when you had guests over, you were like forced to another house or in the basement in the 1940s and 50s because people wanted to pretend like they didn't even have kids for a minute. I don't know what that's about, but whatevs. Well, they also didn't have every freaking predator, child predator in their neighborhood, so you could go play down by the creek and not disappear. There's that too. So anyway, But yeah, you got to listen to your kids, man. You really do. I will tell you that 75% of the time, at least 75% of the time, they're just fucking whining about dumb shit.
They're going through the whole emotional puberty.
Oh yeah,
fun stuff.
And it fucking sucks. And they fucking suck.
But it doesn't matter. Even if they're going through that, they still need you to listen and be there for them and support them.
And I need y'all to listen to Scotty and be here for him for this next topic. It's time for Turns Up What the Como admits wrongdoing and apologizes. First off, was that an apology? Second off, is that enough? This brought to you by...
There is never a bad time for a great handcrafted gift idea. That's why you should check out The Root of All Woodworks. They're on Facebook for your next gift idea.
All right, Scotty, let's talk about the good governor, or maybe not so good governor, should I say.
Right.
Good day, governor.
Yes, sir. So we got Kumo apologizing for insensitive comments and turns over sexual harassment investigation to AG's office, which a lot of top Democrats have called for an independent investigation into the multiple allegations. Yes, sir. Faced with multiple allegations of sexual harassment in New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo on Sunday apologized for comments that may have been misinterpreted as unwanted flirtation. And following pressure from Democrats...
Can I cut in for a second and ask a question?
What's up?
I mean, I'm not going to ask a question. I'm just going to say something. Basically, he said, hey, you want to fuck? You like fucking older people? Like, bro, that's not just an insensitive comment, bro.
No, he did more than that. He was asking about her menstrual cycle.
No, what? That must be another one. Whoa, okay. See, again,
yeah.
You know, I'm like, look. A lot
of when we're reading what he says, I mean, quoted, at work, sometimes I think I'm being playful and make jokes that I think are funny. This is what he said,
How
quoted,
is hey want to
adding,
fuck a joke?
adding, I mean, no offense, and only attempt to add some levity and banter to what is a very serious business.
Oh, yeah, he's a bully. Like, he's a straight up, like, New York City boy type, Brooklyn, Bronx type bully, type rich kid bully type, you know what I mean? Like, both brothers are lawyers. Come on now. Rich kid bully type. I have no doubt about that. Lawyers are not bred to be kind people. Let's be honest. They're really not. There's a few of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not lawyer bashing this morning, but I am saying that they don't exactly have the greatest track record on kindness. It's mostly just about the money. There's a few of them.
This guy, though,
maybe, but not that.
This guy, I now understand that my interactions may have been insensitive or too personal, and that some of my comments, given my position, made others feel in ways I never intended.
So you can look at this from two ways. One, from a what would you call it? A public relations standpoint. I mean, that's exactly how I would have wrote it for you if I was your public relations or legal guy. Straight up, that's exactly what the fuck I'd have wrote. Because the goal here is to look like you're apologizing without ever admitting you did anything wrong.
Yeah, that was the lamest apology ever.
Well, that's a political... Listen, guys, this is why I get mad when I watch Republicans hop on the news 5 minutes after this and start ripping him apart about that's not a real apology. Really? Would you like me to pull or play every time the president ever talked about anything he ever did wrong? And let me show you how he blamed everyone but him. The same shit. It's a political thing. But it's okay when your guy does it, though. My point is, and I wanted to bring this up, that I do find it fascinating that the Democrats' playbook on this is hold our people accountable, and the Republicans' playbook on this is deny, deny, deny.
Right.
Now,
I mean, he literally wrote a book about it.
Right. Literally. Now, I do find it that, one, both parties should always hold their people accountable first, i.e., there should be people that force you out of your seat, force you out of office within your own party that take the reins and save the day kind of thing, you know? Because at the end of the day, If not, New York's going to have a Republican governor. Now, I don't believe that for a second. I think that Como will get primaried by, honestly, with as much as the New York mayor, de Blasio's been on the news beating Como up on this. I was telling Cami, did I tell you that, babe? I said with the position de Blasio's took, first off, he must not have any ex-female type skeletons in his closet. Good for you for keeping it gangsta, by the way. I appreciate that, my brother, because ain't no woman gonna come out and be like, Trey was like, hey, you want to fuck at work? No, I've never done that, actually. Not at all. No one's ever gonna say that about me. Now, oddly enough, though, I have had a woman say that to me. I literally had a female coworker say, do you want to go down to the bathroom and fuck? And I was just like, what? And I was like, I pretended to be married, but I was like, I'm married. I was like, I don't know if you know that, but I'm married. I just don't wear my ring. Yeah.
That's such a girl, like,
right?
go-to.
Right. Like, I straight girled it, didn't I? I did. I'm not even ashamed of it.
I have a headache.
No, but dude, the thing is, okay, so I'm paranoid. I think that, like, the CIA, FBI, TSA got cameras in my house.
It's a setup, Trey.
It's a setup, right. Like, I believe that my ex sent her to set me up. You know, like if any girl tries to talk sideways to me, I think Cammie sent them just to test my gangsta. So I'm like, nah, bitch. Nah. Whoa. Get out of my face.
What the hell?
I don't know. She's like, why'd you get all ghetto though? Like, what did that have to do with anything? I don't know. So, anyway, but here's the thing though, guys. Cammie and I talked about this yesterday. Scotty, you weren't here, and I don't know if you listen to shows you're not on, so I doubt it. But yesterday, Friday we discussed this, Scotty, and I said, with one accusation, and there's people in the office that say that they never saw that happen at that date or time or whatever. So there's some questions there. You got to get this man his piece, right? There's questions there, right? But when you have now an attorney representing 11 women who have turned over the case to the state's district or the state attorney general, that's serious business when you have 11 things. And this is what Cammie and I were talking about yesterday, because on Friday we were kind of defending him a little bit, like, guys, come on, man. That's one person saying something that there's people already to say that didn't happen. But now, and things change, right? Things do change. So you could go listen on Friday. That wasn't me today or yesterday. Yesterday, I said blatantly, you can't have 11 women say something that you may have done that's potentially criminal, and it's being handed over to an attorney general of your state, and me not go, okay, full stop here. There is way more than just smoke here. There's definitely some fucking fire. There's a girl accused him of trying to kiss her, and there's a photo of it going down. Cammie and I saw that this morning. Courtesy of CNN, who never apparently holds Democrats accountable, but we were just watching them hold a Democrat accountable this morning. I told you, they're vicious, bro. They'll go after anybody. If you want the truth, if you want to hear the truth within the truth, even, go listen to some of the more fringe guys. If you want to find out the dirtiest dirt on a Democrat, just go listen to Fox News. They'll tell you anything you want to know and some lies. Like if you go listen to MSNBC, they're evenly left. Oh, that was funny. So my point being is get around to the news and you'll find out some dirt, dude. That was my point, though. All jokes aside. That's why I don't get all my news from one source ever. You guys, my team sees that there's like, out of 9 or 10 stories, there's, I think, 8 different providers of news, because we really get around the news. And we really find stories from everywhere. I read multiple versions of the story, whatever. With this one, guys, this just does not look bad or not look good for Como. In all honesty, Scotty, I would argue that it may be in his best interest to resign, because in light of the newer allegations, if there's even a stink's fart of stench to them, he's going to get impeached, because every Republican is more than willing to jump on board on this in the state of New York, my brother.
Right.
My brother. So we really have to look at that. There are quite a few handfuls of Democrats that are willing to hang him. Maybe from the little further to the left, progressive, metaphorically speaking, because I know with the whole hang Mike Pence thing, we can't say that anymore. Thanks, you fucking psychopaths.
I know this was supposed to be your story, Scotty, but you know how he is.
I stopped. I said my piece. I think he's up to shit's creek.
crack me up.
He is.
I think his career in politics is over. I
can't put it in better words.
We're 4 years after the Me Too movement started. You're toast. Which brings me to my next point. Como, brother man, dude, bruh. Like, you were like America's favorite governor for a while. Bruh, between not telling how many old people died because you were scared of Trump, made you look like a chump, by the way, and now you're over there. Turns out it's not even Biden, it's your Uncle Touchy. I would not have guessed that he was Uncle Touchy. You could have convinced me that, because, Biden's long, uncomfortable hair smells. Still not grabbing him by the pussy. I mean, let's move on. So, what? So, it's time for Turned Up Talks. So, during these hard times, customers matter. Your political opinion matters. My political opinion matters. Scotty's, Cammy's, and even our business partners matter. But what doesn't matter is advertising to our listeners who love our opinion and hate our opinion, because we get everybody and we love it. Spend your ad dollars right, folks. Spend it at a place where we draw in an audience that cares. Spend it at Wake and Bake America, because we are the most affordable, top-of-mind advertising group you can get with. Give us a call at 719-299-0428. 719-299-0428. And, Scotty, you'll have that today, by the way, because today's the day I'm sitting down to do what you asked.
Nice.
Just so you know. So, Turned Up Talks time. The Trump made me do it defense, and here's why it legally can't happen. So, first off, anybody who's an idiot didn't get that was coming, okay? Every person who stormed the Capitol building came out and said, Trump told me to do it, that's why I was there. This is why the failure on the impeachment is fucking dumb. Right? Because, well, he didn't make them do it. Well, every one of them says he did. So that's kind of fucking dumb that you didn't impeach him. But every single person who stormed that Capitol building should have been supporting an impeachment of the president. Imagine that. Imagine that, man. But here's the deal, baby. You got to win, baby, win. And in this case, winning for you, insurrectionist, terrorist people, is you should have wanted the president to be impeached. Here's why. It all constitutes legal precedent and legal standard, right? So, for instance, if the president had been found guilty of inciting an insurrection on the Capitol and the House and Senate of the United States of America, if he had been found guilty of inciting those folks to be there, if he had been found guilty of that impeachment, every single person there would have had the defense that the president made me do it. They would have. Because there was somebody found guilty somewhere else over something else that would lead to some legal precedent being set behind it. The fact that the president was found not guilty of any wrongdoing by the trial, okay? Now listen, we all know it's not a real criminal trial, but it is he was found not guilty of any political crimes, okay? I don't understand how you can be guilty of a criminal crime but not be guilty of a political crime is insane to me. Within the same act, I mean, you know what I mean? But so the Trump made me do it defense went out the fucking window legally the moment Trump was found not guilty of the impeachment. At that moment, the Congress and Senate and otherwise presiding bodies over the people that create law in this country said that Trump didn't say or do anything that made you go over and go into the Capitol building and storm it, right? So now the Trump made me do it defense isn't a legal defense, because every prosecutor is going to look at the jury and tell the jury his defense is garbage. The president wasn't found guilty of any wrongdoing, and because the president wasn't found guilty of any wrongdoing, you can't blame him for your wrongdoing, because he didn't do anything wrong. According to the legal standard, he didn't incite you to do anything. He was found not guilty in his impeachment trial. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Trump gets charged in D.C. for inciting riots, right? For inciting the insurrection. He gets found guilty in D.C. You may have a chance at blaming Trump. But if you go back to the Riot Act and you look at what the Riot Act of the 1960s Riot Act, and I think it was updated in the 80s and 90s again in the 90s, but the Riot Act clearly states that each individual is still solely responsible for their act in a riot. I think it was updated after the Rodney King riots or something like that. But the Riot Act essentially states that you are responsible as an individual for your acts within the riot. So every one of them doesn't have the Trump made me do it defense, even if he's found guilty of making them do it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Did we lose Scotty? He seems so quiet today. You okay, buddy? Do you need a hug?
I need more than...
You need a hug from a thug? I'm going to send a thug over there to hug you. Big old one. Like Uncle Phil big, so you can really feel the love.
It's freezing up a little bit.
Yeah, it probably is. So, but that's what I have for Turned Up Talks. The Trump made me defense do it is ludicrous within itself just based on the results of the impeachment. But basically, based on the Riot Act, you can't use the Trump made me do it defense because according to the Riot Act, you're solely responsible for your actions during that riot. It's also why you can't be held criminally liable if the guy next to you throws a brick through a fucking window. Because he can't say you made him do it. The Trump made me do it defense. I don't believe that would have even been you could have tried to argue that defense if he was found guilty of the impeachment. You still might be able to try to argue that defense if he gets charged in DC and you drag out your case longer than his case, which let's be honest, he's going to drag out his case as long as possible. We all know how that's going to go. He's not going to take a plea deal and admit any wrongdoing. So he's going to drag that case out as long as possible. But remember, the people that supported him are the people that tore apart their town. Those are going to be the jurors, not Trump supporters, but the people who actually live in D.C. whose lives were upended because of Trump supporters. That's who his jury is going to be if he is charged in D.C. That is a point to remember. Another point of contention is all these folks are being charged in D.C. as well. So their jurors are going to be the very folks whose lives they upended. So again, it's going to be very interesting, the outcome of this. But I've listened to legal experts talk about the Trump made me do it defense. There's even stuff on the article I sent you guys about the Trump made me do it defense, right? And it's a long shot at best. And I think that they would have needed him to be convicted of the impeachment crimes in order to even go there. Now you can't even go there because they're going, hey, his rhetoric wasn't bad enough to make you storm the Capitol building. You chose to do that. I don't know how go down there and go in there and take your life, your country back isn't go down there and riot. To me, that translates as go down there and riot, but maybe I'm just more of a incited to the rioting effects kind of guy. Who knows? So anyway, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we got Cammie and Scotty to wrap up the show. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's your girl, Cammie, Renee, and you're listening to Wake and Bake America Show. You know I bring you the best.
We're smoking.
Apothecary Farms is the premier cannabis dispensary on the Front Range. When you think concentrates in Colorado, you think Apothecary Farms. With locations in Pueblo, Colorado Springs, and Denver, it is clear why Apothecary owns the cannabis concentrate game. How do you get your diamonds, shatter, butter sauces, and come on, ambrosia? Just look up Apothecary Farms on Google or Weedmap. Get the best in concentrates. Don't hesitate to stop at Apothecary Farms.
Good morning, Wake and Bake listeners. This is your guy, Scotty, checking in with you in the morning here, waking and baking with you and getting you started for your day. Have a good one. Everyone loves you, except for Trey.
Good morning, America.
Wakey, wakey, bakey, bakey.
Compton. So it is Wake and Bake America.
Yup.
And it's time for a little bit of that. Well, damn, that's a headline. And it's going to be powered by your mom's house because we like your mom. Just kidding. Wake and Bake America show is happy to partner with Underground Sensation. Young Fats. That's how you do it, Kimmy. Check out and download Young Fats on all music platforms. That's YUNGGFATTZ. See, I almost screwed it up too. I am no better. So at the end of the day, we get to the end of the show. No, it is time for the last couple of things that we got for you guys today. First up, Cammy with Well Damn, that's a headline. Life jacket for a goldfish because some people are too kind.
This is such a cute story, though, actually. This would be me. I'm sorry. I love all animals and living things, including fish. So
I don't know. Our fish went belly up and you just flushed it down the toilet.
Well, it was already gone.
You didn't even try to save it.
This one wasn't.
You don't know. You could have put the life vest on it.
Yeah, CPR.
And then it would have just floated. Gross.
CPR, homie.
No, so an inventive UK woman made waves online and in a fish tank after outfitting a disabled goldfish with a customized life jacket so it wouldn't sink. The fishes...
All right, so a UK woman made a life jacket for a fish.
Right.
Cool. So let's look at what it's made out of.
It's like these like tubes that go around it.
Let's see here. I want to invest. So Trey investigates.
The fish. The reason she had to do that is the fish suffered from an untreatable swim bladder disorder that left him sitting upside down at the bottom of the tank.
What? So our fish really could have been alive, Cammy. You killed our fish.
It was not moving, you big dummy.
You don't know that.
But did you try the life vest first?
See? Scotty understands.
Screw you guys. If you want to make a... But anyways, so I guess welcoming water gets into their swim bladder, and that's why it affects them like that.
Their swim bladder is like a ballast on a submarine. It fills with air so they can go buoyancy up and down in the water. Right. The height in the water they sit at.
Oh,
yeah, so when water
See, I never knew these things about fish.
This is how we find the fish in the fish finder when they're like right in the middle, floating in the middle, because they like to put themselves where the water is the temperature they like.
But yeah, so if water gets in there, then of course that's gonna, disable them from being able to.
Yeah, they won't be able to.
Obviously, turns them upside down.
Yeah, they won't be able to fill it with air and float up and down. They just fill it with water and go to the bottom.
I just think it's super cute.
Bloop.
It's like these tiny little plastic tubings. It's really cute. I'm sorry, it is.
Yeah, it basically does have like a fish version of a wheelchair. I mean, it really does, or a walker or whatever or something.
But it works.
All it needs is like 2 little tennis balls on the front of it. It'll be all cute, like a little old lady fish.
She said that the fish is doing great with it on it.
That fish is literally decaying.
Oh, great.
She's been taking a picture.
We're gonna see little goldfish with life vests all over the place.
Scotty's mad. He's like, just let that fish
save the goldfish.
Scotty is like, is it necessary to save him?
It was definitely clever.
Like, he's like, this ain't an Oscar that cost you $2,000, bro. This is a goldfish.
Yeah.
Scotty's like, you might have spent more.
I don't know the sentimental value.
Right. Because I'm looking at it thinking, like, you might have spent more on that damn goldfish life vest parts than the damn goldfish cost. You know what I mean? Like, you really might have.
You're going to be mad when your next goldfish doesn't need it.
Right? When your next goldfish just swims perfectly fine. No bladder problem.
Just a normal goldfish.
I'm sure.
Get out of here, normal goldfish.
It's just little plastic tubing.
Get out of here, normal goldfish. You're too normal for this house.
It's not like it was
flushing you down the toilet.
Gold-plated tubing or something.
I'm just saying, that goldfish is what, $1?
Ooh. You'll see 2 Chainz with a gold-plated.
Right.
Gold all over my fish. All right.
Oh, Lord.
We've definitely we went off the deep end with that one. So let's bring it back up on shore here. It's time for Scotty with Tuesday's Don't Look Now story. Brought to you by Apothecary Farms. Apothecary Farms is the leader in concentrates. Get your Apothecary Farms in Pueblo, Color Springs, Denver, and Oklahoma, or at hundreds of other dispensaries who carry Apothecary Farms at their locale. So, Tuesdays, Don't Look Now. Don't Look Now, but we have the tale of the doctor, the tale of, is there a doctor in the house, but should there be one story?
Right. Don't look now, but we have a California doctor performing surgery during a Zoom traffic court trial.
That's a classy bitch.
Yes. A Sacramento plastic surgeon showed up on his Zoom traffic court trial while in the middle of operating on a patient. The incident is the latest mundane court proceeding to take an interesting turn in the age of coronavirus, right?
Bro, this
and
motherfucker
video conference and remote work and all that fun jazz.
This motherfucker was so bougie, because you know plastic surgeons are bougie. So this motherfucker was so bougie, he was like, he thought he had the privilege to show up to court while in surgery. Don't you know that plastic surgery killed Kanye's mom?
This is so funny. So the courtroom clerk asked Mr. Green, "Hi, are you available for trial? It kind of looks like you're in an operating room right now." The surgeon says, "I am, sir. I'm in an operating room. Yes, I'm available for trial. Go right ahead."
Hold on.
Wow.
So no, look. I watched a video of him being sworn in right now, and he raises his right hand, and there's blood all over his fucking surgical glove and shit. Swear. You can't make that up.
Yes.
You really can't make that
What
up.
in the world?
Here's the best part. So I'm looking a little further into the story here. Here's the best part, Scotty, that I think might be the best part. Do you have anything else before I tell you what I think might be the best part?
Oh, I just think it's hilarious that, you know, he's trying tasking skills is what he's trying to do.
He's trying to multitask. Get that man no credit. No, that's not cool, dude. So, I just watched the dialogue on the bottom of the screen of what the judge is saying to him towards the end. So, look, the judge is like, "Yo, bro, you're doing surgery, dude. Like, really don't think this is the time to have your traffic hearing. You probably should have worked around that or rescheduled with that." And he's like, No, it's cool, man. I'm good. I got another doctor here. He'll make sure I don't fuck up. It's cool. Just keep going. And the judge is like, no. Like, you literally have somebody's life in your hands. I'm more worried about the patient now than even you. Like, what are you doing? But that's crazy. Like, the judge is even like, bro, no,
right.
What you're doing is not cool, dude. Like, I don't care how good of a surgeon you think you are. That's not cool, bro. And in the background,
definitely said it wasn't cool. They rescheduled the date for March 4th.
Oh, that's in a couple
and
days.
The judge says we want to keep people healthy. We want to keep them alive. That's important.
Oh, jeez. The judge is like, do you realize that you could potentially kill a man, malpractice a man or woman for traffic court, you son of a bitch? No, the funny thing about this is, though, the not so funny thing that's not so funny is the doctor was unavailable for comment. I can't find right now even a comeback from him anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Surprise.
Nowhere, right?
But there is some...
Yeah, because he's about to get in trouble.
There's someone commenting, though. There is someone commenting. I found a comment from someone that matters. That is. Would you like me to read it, sir, since it's your story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because I didn't find it in your story, so you probably don't have it right there. Guess who is talking on this? The California Medical Board. As in people who hand him his license to practice in the state of California. They are reviewing...
Yep, on Saturday.
Yep,
they said they're aware of the incident and looking into it.
Oh, you also... Man, I found this on Yahoo News. Where are you reading it?
In my story, at the end.
I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah, so they're looking into it and all the complaints that it's receiving. So everybody that's writing in, they're going to look into it.
Dude, I got to say that if the doctor making just stupid dance videos on TikTok during surgery wasn't okay, remember her?
This is not going to
really
be okay.
funny doctor, though, by the way. She was really funny, but a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, good, bad, and indifferent to her funny videos, felt like that was really inappropriate to be doing that. So I would imagine that going to court while you should be paying attention to the surgery, or honestly, I think the judge said something, or the prosecutor said something, and he didn't respond right, you know, and they're like, this motherfucker ain't even listening to us.
Right.
Like, I bet they felt disrespected as fuck, too.
Right. Spokesman Carlos Valerato said the board expects physicians to follow the standard of care when treating any patient.
That's the problem there is when you're in surgery, the standard of care is your undivided attention. You can't be on your phone on a phone call. You can't be doing funny or fucked up shit. If you have an emergency,
I mean, how would you feel if your surgeon was like, "Oh, I took a phone call in the middle of your body being open and
fuck court,
blood spilling everywhere"?
Yeah, I'd be like, "Fuck court."
Come on now.
If you took a call from your kid and it wasn't an emergency, I'd be pretty pissed off because as a doctor, I would think that you would have a better secondary system set up, and you wouldn't even be the first person your kid calls because you're a doctor.
Right.
But anyway, I don't know. I could go on this guy all day because it's dumb. Like, it really is dumb. That's the part about this that it's just dumb. Like, bro, like you can't be. My thing is, do we really want somebody that thinks in that manner and that has that process of thinking? Do we really want them to be a doctor operating on someone? Like, that's an honest question. And look, he might be the best fucking surgeon on the planet, guys, but obviously not that day.
Nope.
But anyway, so let's do this. Let's get out of here for the day because Scotty ain't feeling good and Scotty gonna go nap.
Yup.
I ain't gonna lie. Bro, if I sit down doing some work and doze off, I will not be surprised because I slept like crap.
It happens. Y'all have a great day, though.
You too, buddy.